Hey all, Steve Cyros. Just wanted to show you our collection and document our security procedures so you know what we're doing when we're out here grabbing samples and shooting readings. Bear with me while I grab this camera for a second. So I always get the question why, by the way, anybody wondering, the gear we bring, that's the OGS. I'm hand carrying, by the way, OGS is old guy seat. That goes with me everywhere. I won't tell you the weight on that backpack, but it's heavy. And I hand carry both the XRF and the XRD just because I do not want to take a chance at jostling them and dropping them. You hike all the way into the field, and if you fall out of calibration because you rough handled it, it's going to be a hike back and trip to the factory. GPS, of course, we document geo information. So someday we can show, if we ever had to, where we pulled the samples from. And what you're looking at here, this is two different sample sites. The bags get marked very clearly, date, location number, and what I don't have on there, but I have on a separate documentation video, is the actual GPS. And for reasons you can understand, I'm not going to show you that today. But we do 4 samples from each location. One for purposes of averaging, because both the XRF and the XRD are surface readings. In the field, we can't actually crush that rock and homogenize it, so we'll shoot it 4 times and we'll take the average of the 4 shots. So that just helps eliminate any spikes. You can literally be off a couple microns in one direction and get a different reading. So that just helps to even out the numbers we see. We mark the locations where we pull the rocks from. They get flagged for future. And let's see if I can get up here. The reason we do 4 samples, not just for the averaging, but one of those will go to the lab. It'll get sealed, avoids cross-contamination that way. Another one will go back to the corporate vault, and it'll stay there someday as a public company. If we ever had to proof readings on field work from a couple years in the past, that'll come out, and we'll be able to document along with the geo information exactly where it was. And that's the reason why we mark the spots. If we ever had to come out and pull samples again, we know exactly where we chipped out those samples. You can kind of see it gets flagged and then marked, and then that's it. The third sample does get crushed up and homogenized. It's basically mixed together to give us an actual reading for the entire specimen. Because again, when we're shooting, say, just the actual rock itself, we're going to get a surface reading, but when we crush that up, mix it together, we're going to get an average of everything that was in that rock. So that's just a backup. And then speaking of backups, the sample 4 for each one of those is just that backup. In case something got lost in the mail or the lab had inconclusive results and needed an additional sample, we've got one.